Good day, Papua New Guinea. Today I'm doing this short video to raise a concern about the current government of the day weaponizing state institutions to go after its political rivals. The classic example in this case is Honorable Prime Minister directing the Office of the Auditor General to investigate the agendas that his political enemy number one and the alternate Prime Minister headed before he defected to the opposition. This is pure political witch hunt, and we must discourage this from our Prime Minister. Yes, we are very much concerned about the huge amount of money being pumped into one particular department or one particular provincial government, and this misuse, and Papua New Guinea welcomes such investigations. But it must be done for a good cause and not just pure political witch hunt as such. The question that every Papua New Guineans are now asking is, why didn't Prime Minister directed the Office of the Auditor General to investigate Department of National Planning and Finance, the Department of Works, when Honorable Peter O'Neill raised this very same issue on that day on the floor of Parliament, when Honorable Rainbow Paita was on the other side with James Marape, when he was Mr. Fix-It-All? Why now, when Honorable Rainbow Paita is the alternate Prime Minister who will get his position soon? It's obvious that it's a political witch hunt, and we must discourage this from our Prime Minister. Prime Minister is now setting a bad precedence where if you remain with the government, you are prone to investigations. This is an indirect threat or a blackmail at the highest level. Yes, well, Honorable Governor Muduvel has rightfully said, being in an opposition is not a death sentence. But now it's otherwise now. The actions of the Prime Minister is now making it look obvious that being in an opposition is a death sentence. This is a bad precedent for our country. Every members of the Parliament are equal and capable of becoming a Prime Minister, just like what Prime Minister preaches every day. They must be left to go and exercise their people's wishes, and not by indirectly threatening and blackmailing. If Prime Minister can do this to Honorable Governor Allen Bed when he was the alternate Prime Minister then, and now he is doing it to Honorable Rainbow Paita when he is now the alternate Prime Minister, what is the guarantee that he would not do it to any members of the Parliament who are now with the government? There will come a time when your conscience becomes very clear and Prime Minister's sweet talks become sour in your one. You would want to move on. And on that day, today is Honorable Rainbow Paita and today is Honorable Allen Bed. Tomorrow will be you. We cannot let a Prime Minister who will dictate your decisions. It's about time you step out and make your choice now. And having said that, let me say this. Let me make this appeal. If Prime Minister is very much concerned about the huge amount of money being pumped in one particular department, I am now calling for Honorable Prime Minister to do hella people a favor by quickly directing the Office of the Auditor General, like what he did now, and investigate hella provincial government accounts now. If Prime Minister is genuine about this case, Prime Minister must now direct the Office of the Auditor General to investigate hella provincial government. It's very serious now. We understand there is a huge amount of money in the form of development levies, in the form of IDGs or MOA funds, in the form of special support grants, in the form of PIP funds, etc. Huge amount of money being spent into hella provincial government coffers, but literally speaking, there is nothing to show on the ground. There is no visibility of these funds on the ground. And that is before the eyes and the ears of the Honorable Prime Minister, and he's very much aware of this. Maybe those uneducated, maybe those who does not know what's happening, might think that Tari Airport, the upgrading of Tari Airport, or the Ambo to the road that is happening, the constructions that is happening, and there must be coming from Hela provincial government, but it's not. It's not. The Tari upgrading of the Tari Airport, we understand it was funded by ADB. Ambo to Tari Road was funded by national government. Credit to Honorable Peter O'Neill for initiating that. Como to Nogoli to Como Road, Nogoli to Halibu Road, Halibu to Kopiogo Road, now Kopiogo to Oxomen Road, which is funded by OTM tax credit scheme. Angora to Piribu Road, that is funded by Oil and Mobile tax credit scheme. Much of that work that is done and that is visible on the ground is funded by tax credit scheme or from the national government or from ADB. But from the provincial government, there is nothing to show on the ground, except the fact that there was a 3 million public toilet and failed gun surrender program and failed gun detection drone. These are named a few, but there is literally nothing funded by Hela provincial government to show on the ground. And also, the huge amount, now we are hearing about Hela Investment Limited and Arafura Limited and all of that company, the Hela provincial government has registered and doing business on behalf of the people of Hela. And the Hela provincial government has also used the landowners' money to establish a company called Euro Power. I don't think the landowners are aware of this. I don't think the Hela people are aware of these funds. If these monies were being spent, if these monies were Hela people's money being used to establish those companies, Hela people need to know. But now we don't know. It's not obvious now. I don't think these are companies that we are now hearing or we are now talking about has been endorsed by Hela Provincial Assembly or PEC, Provincial Executive Council. Prime Minister, you know very much what I'm talking about. You know very much what I am talking about. There is huge amount of money. I'm not talking about the money that is, literally, yes, Taripori, there is nothing to show on the ground, obviously, I know. I am a Taripori man. Yes, I am but mostly not this man, but I belong to Taripori and I know it very clearly. There is literally nothing to show on the ground. It would not look good for you to order an investigation into your own account, but it would be best if you allow investigation in Hela provincial government account and Hela province of Hela people will be at peace. Prime Minister, this is timely. You must direct the Office of the Auditor General to investigate Hela provincial government account now. Time you work in blue yet, you make him blue yet, you discipline him blue yet. Narabla province na narabla members by poret you. Blue yet, you hang him up him na, you kirap him na, you hide him stuff na, you work locolo narabla man. Humble trust him, Blow Hela province you lose him stuff. South Nalins province you lose him stuff. Enga you lose him stuff. First one through you call up go civica look him. Suppose you can allow him all investigation civic provincial government accounts, governor or prime minister, you must now allow him investigation to the Hela provincial government account. If you are joining, hear me. Thank you.
Hi. If you have watched this far, please don't forget to support the channel by giving a like to this video and subscribe to the channel. Much love and stay blessed.
The former Prime Ministers said you are giving false hope to the youths. Any comments on this? Thank you.
On the issues of promise to the youths, we've been carrying this problem for many years. Our school system has put out to our countries since the 1995 reform, and even back then, every year we produce more school dropouts than those who come out of school with a skill, and the number goes into millions who are out there in our society. This government, for the first time, wants to address this issue. No government before our time have addressed this issue. Last 4 years, we have brought back over 100,000 Papua New Guineans into second chance education. That's our response to addressing the youth issue. So if any youths out there listening to this one, don't believe in political hogwash. Those who had opportunity to address these issues before but never addressed, we're addressing a very big issue of youth unengaged in our society. They've left grade 8, they've left grade 10, they left grade 12, they left university and colleges with no hope and for a positive engagement or progress beyond leaving schools. And we know this is a big problem. Our state team, the National Volunteer Services, the Department of Community Development and Youth, Department of Education, Prime Minister's Department, Planning Department, Defense, all are working together to ensure that youth mobilization come to pass. We are allowing the census to get off in the first instance, and talking about census, over 22,000 youths nationwide are being engaged in the census today as we speak. And so I want to encourage our youths, don't feel that you are left out in your own society. This government for the first time knows that this is a big problem that exists amongst us where youths are unengaged. We already have the second chance education program running. If you have left grade 8, grade 10, grade 12 in society doing nothing, you pick up matriculation and use flexible open distance education as a mode to matriculate to grade 12. We've announced already that grade 12 certificate will be a recognized certificate. We're now tailoring where those who will leave to work in Australia, for instance, you must have a grade 12 certificate and you must be certified by a pastor with your character. I was mentioning earlier on the 2,000 spaces made available by Indonesia. This is part of our finding spaces to fit in those who left school in our country to be engaged productively. So it is not a one night, 1 month, 1 year solution that we will find. It is a big issue that we've carried since 1975, where no one really addressed those who left schools, even right up to universities and colleges. Government and governments today and government in the past have no idea what they're doing in society. And we want to use this census as a reference point, count every citizen where you are. And this census that Minister Masara and the team is doing is not just a one-off event. The next layer of population investigation assessment will take place. We want to get to know who you are, where you are, doing what, and then after knowing this, government can link you to SME, continue education, work in Australia, study in Indonesia, and even in our own spaces that we're trying to expand. So I want to indicate to the youths in our country, don't believe in hogwash by people who had opportunity. The former Prime Minister had 8 years to make some intervention in the youth sector. And I don't blame him. Maybe that was not in his interest. But today, this body of leaders who stand with me knows exactly that many out there in the majority are young Papua New Guineans who don't have any productive engagements in life. And we've gone out in a big way in SME, second chance education. These two areas is something that we want to funnel most of our youths into. So I want to speak to our youths, don't feel you are left out. We've made commitment to find you. This census will be retired as it's retired. Our people in National Statistics Office will try to find out exactly where the spread of our population is. And we'll work with the districts and provinces in that context.